Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Naz Porter. So we got a 100 amp panel right here that we're going to be taking all these wires out. Got the main guy over here doing this thing. He pulled all that out of there.
He's doing a little something.
A little something. So gonna take all that old BX out of there. Get some blue boxes over there. Gonna be putting in there. And we got the gonna be 200 amp panel right there. Got some breakers in there. And now we're just doing the prep work, getting it out. What we're doing is we're trying to get rid of all that old BX. This old BX right here, the cloth, because if you look at it, first of all, it doesn't really have a ground on it. They were probably using this as a ground, which is not really the greatest. But if you look at the wires, how it's fraying, its insulation is coming off. So we're going to be tracing all those out, getting rid of those. Did a pretty good job tracing all this out. He's still tracing more stuff out over there. See what he's got going on over there. Yeah, he's getting all that up out of there. So we're gonna be pulling a lot of old wire. What I did, I isolated the circuits down to the main circuits that we're gonna be using. So all these circuits are shut off. I got 1, 2, I got 3 circuits on. The rest of these are all dead. I took off this is the oven, the old dryer that's gone. I'm gonna be disconnecting the oven next. These 2 lugs here, that's the main coming in. We won't touch those to the very end. That's when all the power's out in the building. So on this side, we got 1 more circuit than this one. This side is 2 circuits. They ran in the, they did like a, is that 12? Or, it feels like 12. They probably did like 12, 3. But we're getting there. This is a ground wire here, but they didn't paint it green or anything, but that's the ground wire that goes up to the water meter. It kind of goes up through that chase, comes back down to the water meter over here. And this way, I think it's at the bottom down there. Coming to that conduit. We'll trace it all off to make sure it is what it is. This wire here was an old, going to a Comcast box, Verizon Comcast box. We just took that ground off of there. It's one of the old fixtures right there. Took off the transformer for the bell. I'm gonna keep that. That's an AC 24 volt. I'm gonna keep that because it might be handy. We're gonna eliminate this disconnect, the fuse disconnect. There's no wires. Well, if there are wires, we don't know where they go to, but you open this up, it got the 2 fuses in there. We ring it out, find out where it goes to. If it's not something we're using, we eliminate it or redo it over with a different thing in there. I believe when I tested this, there was power in there. So we'll pull it out, we'll figure it out. We'll do a lot of tracing. Right now I'm just showing you guys what we got. I'm gonna look at these junction boxes, see where they got up in there. We'll check all these junction boxes, see what kind of wire. This is like new Romex here, so if it's going to something, we'll leave it. But see what this transforms from BX to Romex. We're gonna try to get rid of that. We don't want Romex connecting to the BX. We want to get rid of all this BX because it traces back to the box. So he made it that far. He could have went all the way with it, but he didn't. So we followed this box here and follow this right here. It literally goes through here, up here, back down into the box. So we'll spend a couple of days, well, not a full day, but all this Cat 5. We'll get rid of that Cat 5. We're gonna find that could be a thermostat wire. Like I said, we'll trace it out first before we get rid of it. Make sure we're not disconnecting something that we need. This looks like they're only using 2 wires out of the Cat 5. There could be a transformer for a bell, but we're not sure. It could be thermostat wire. This wire up here is thermostat wire for sure. So we'll find out if it's thermostat wire or not. It's like old Bell Atlantic wire. That's the old telephone wire right there with the red, black, yellow, red, black, yellow, green. We'll check it all out. He's over here. Get it there, the image of him. Ripping up these wires here. Getting all that old BX out of there. Once we find out what the circuit goes to and we eliminate it, if we gotta run new Romex, we'll run new Romex up there. But the main thing is we don't want to see any of this cloth wire in these boxes here. These things have a tendency of like shorting out, getting frayed. So we're gonna try to get rid of all that. Let me check out these pipe hangers too. These pipe hangers might have to be readjusted, but we'll investigate all that. We got a ground wire here. Not too sure where that's going to, but we'll check all that out. Well, got a couple of hangers that are loose up there. We'll check that. Smoke detector. We're gonna do a hardwire smoke detector, so we're gonna get rid of these completely. New code, you have to hardwire them all together. We do have the 14.3, sorry. That's how you have to use for smoke detectors. 14.3, so you interconnect them all together. It all has to be on a separate circuit. We're not going to put any other circuit on it but one independent circuit. From the panel throughout the whole entire house, one breaker is going to be designated just for smoke detectors only. Nothing else on that breaker but smoke detectors. Take the light switch off the wall, yeah. We're gonna put a new one up there. Yeah, so that's what we got going on. All that old stuff like that we're eliminating. Like I said, we're gonna be putting in a 200 amp panel. More space, more breakers. It's a Siemens panel. As you can see there, it's a pretty good panel. A lot more space. You can run the wires in there nice and comfortable. See, there you go. Put your hands like this bus bar right here. You got to remember this. If this was live, this is all energized right here. So this side of the bus and this side of the bus would be all live. That's why your neutrals will go here. No, sorry. This is why your grounds will go. Ground is neutral is different. So this is all your ground. This should be your neutral over here. Well, no, neutral is going to be over there. So these, we'll figure it out. I think these two could be ground, and that'll be your neutral over there. But we'll double check to make sure. It all depends on which lug is going where. So if my neutral lug comes on this will become my neutral. And I guess you could tie the neutrals and ground together in the panel, but if it's a sub panel, you have to separate it. I'll figure out if this connects to anything else or not. I don't think it does, but I'll test it out with my own meter to make sure it's not connected to. If there's a bus that connects these two together, I'll figure that out before I put it in there. This is definitely separate, so this is going to be the ground side. This is going to be the ground because that's mounted on the box itself. That's definitely going to be the ground. This is going to be the neutral over here. This one here, we'll figure out if that's tied into that one, which I think it is. But we'll double check to make sure it is tied in mechanically. Always got to check it to make sure, because you can assume that it does, and which it should, but I always want to make sure. Get the old meter out, check it out. Other than that, that's what we got. We'll come in here. This be one side of the phase, the other side of the phase, neutral. Over here be your ground. And I'm pretty sure if I put a continuity tester from here to here, I think they both connect together. That's what the testers are for, to find out for sure. Because you don't want to be doing it and it's doing something different. All right, guys. We're going to spend some more time on this. Ripping all this out. Pull out. Disconnecting there. It's an old coal. So this stuff right here is it's all coal. So cool. Taking out the furnace. Disconnecting this entirely. Taking out the gas hot water heater. You're going to be putting an electric, rerouting the piping. Matter of fact, we did some piping yesterday. The contractors had cut some pipes over here, but we soldered it back together, so we got running water in the building. This is the main shut off, so this is your check valve or your backflow preventer. This is your pressure, what do you call it, the pressure regulator or autofill, whatever you want to call it. It can do both. The autofill is in and regulates the pressure at the same time. This is your check valve, so water only could go one way. You don't go back into the drinking water. You got to have that on there. If you don't have that, it's going to be a problem. We're going to be taking that apart anyway. The gas line, we'll probably take that out and recap it up there somewhere. Well, we'll see. We got options. We got a lot of options. We're not. Oh, we got a copper pipe up there. So that pipe, when I finish plumbing everything in, I'm gonna tap into that and put a T in there. Split that out. Just want to give you an idea what we got going on. A lot of wires over there. We'll figure those out. Make it. We might simplify that better. And that's the old box that we took down. That was I think that's some kind of cable box, or it's a cable box for sure. I'm not sure if it's Comcast or if it's Verizon. But we took it down because we weren't utilizing it. We got it over there. It still works and everything, but we just get it on the side. Other than that, we're going to be eliminating a lot of this stuff. That's going to be a lot of stuff we're doing now. Just getting rid of that. I'm going to get back to work, separating these panels up in here. I'm pulling all that up out of there. I got most of it out. Just trace out the wires with your hands and see where they go, and just, one by one pull out the circuits. I'm definitely going to take this out. I'm going to find out where this goes to and get rid of that. I'm not too sure what this could be. This could have been like a disconnect for. No, it wasn't a hot water heater. Who knows what they use this for? And that's kind of weird too. Why is that coming up? But it's not even connected to anything, to be honest with you. You got a feed coming in the top, nothing coming out the bottom, which is weird. Then you got this piece of Romex is bypassing through there. That piece of Romex comes up over. I'll have to trace all that out where it goes down that way, so I'll figure it out. And then this piece comes up here. That's a different one though. That's something different. That one we're gonna keep. But this bad boy here has some power in there. And the question is, what the heck were they doing with that? Look like they might have been stealing electricity, to be honest with you. Because that's going out to the meter. Unless that's going somewhere else other than the meter. They could have, the previous homeowner could have been stealing electricity. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong, but yeah, interesting. See how that goes? That goes outside, and that one goes outside. That one's coming in, but it's coming off the meter too, because the meter is outside. Well, only way to find it, you gotta pull the meter and see where these wires go to. But we'll figure it out. All right, guys. Another image of him ripping down this stuff over here before we cut this off. He's just taking it all out, separating all the wires, taking off the connectors. So some of the connectors we can use old telephone wire. You never see that again. This is probably the last time you see telephone wire. Back in the days when they had Bell Atlantic and Nynix and that stuff, These are the telephone jacks that you plug your phone into. Right there. Boom, boom. Nobody uses these anymore unless you're using a fax machine or something. Even a fax machine, they're using Cat 5 and Cat 6. So, just let's say nobody's using that stuff anymore. Unless you're using like an alarm, like some low voltage alarms might use that stuff. But it is what it is. We're gonna get back to work. I thank you guys for watching. We're gonna catch you guys on the next one. There we go. Let's take off all the connectors. All right, guys.